What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. You enjoyed the Super Bowl, maybe got some fast break W's. I know yesterday's free throw made were a little tricky, especially when Jimmy Butler got ruled out, but we're back at it for another week. We only have a few games left in this fast break run, right? We have today, which we're looking at 35 assists and 5 steals. Tomorrow, 4 double doubles. Then on Wednesday, we've got 150 points. And then on the last day, 25 points and 10 3-pointers made. And then we head into the All-Star game weekend, which, by the way, if you're going to be in Indianapolis, hit me up. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be out there. But as always, yeah, if you haven't signed up for our VIP, you can find a link right at the top of this video in the show notes, and that will get you. We had some weekend content. It'll get you another stream later in the day when we actually look at projections and injury news and all that stuff. But for now, we're going to head on over to Underdog, look at some of the lines for today's game, and then see where we can find I don't know, see where we can find our guys, right? So 35 assists mean we need to average about 7 assists and 1 steal per player. Let me blow this up a little bit so you guys have a better angle at it. So the first one that pops up, we actually let's look at let me see quickly what games we have tonight. So that way we can accurately assess the situation. We get a big slate. So we got Indianapolis against Charlotte, Philly at Cleveland, Chicago at Atlanta. So those are 3 games that I would love to target. San Antonio at Toronto is fine. New York at Houston. We see that Brunson is back in action. You get the Pellies and the Memphis Grizzlies, Denver at Milwaukee, Washington at Dallas. And then 2 late games, Golden State at Utah, Minnesota at the Clippers. Okay, so that is our action for tonight. A big old slate. And Mitchell and Tyrese Maxey, right? So they Mitchell has 6.5, looking at 6.5 assists. We're just gonna do assists first, and then we'll look at steals. Maxey 5.5 assists. Okay. Tobias is 4 assists, whatever. But we need to get up around that 7 number, right? So no one is really popping out yet. Now Tyrese Halliburton is probably the play. A lot of us probably haven't used him yet, right? Because he's barely been playing, and when he's been playing, he's only been playing like 22 to 26 minutes. Well, over the weekend he played 30 minutes, so Halliburton is going to project almost across the industry is a really, really good play. And then when you look at 11 assists, we need to get to 7, right? And even in limited minutes, he's been getting double digit assists. So if we can get, 11 or 12 out of Halliburton, even not even that, even 10, even if he comes in under projection, it puts us in really good shape to get to 35, right? Because again, like when we talked about Rudy Gobert in a rebound category, we like those guys that can actually that have a ceiling that provides a safer floor for the rest of our guys, right? So 11 assists, Halliburton seems like a no brainer here. On the Charlotte side of things, they've got a weird rotation now. They've introduced a bunch of new dudes. Micic from the Thunder's playing for him now. You saw Grant Williams play 32 minutes, Seth Curry play 20 minutes, even Trey Mann. So I don't think we need to touch anything over at Charlotte, especially if LaMelo continues to miss time. Scotty Barnes here, 6.5 assists. I think you go to Scotty. One thing that I like about playing Scotty Barnes here is I feel like he averages a steal a game as well. So again, if you're putting in somebody like Hallie, who can also pick up a steal for you, and then you get Scotty, who maybe he only gets you 5 or 6 assists. Those two should average themselves out with assists and with steals. So I like that quite a bit. So Scotty, I'd put him in that tier 1 up there with Halliburton. Looking at Spurs against Toronto, Wemby's at 13.5 rebounds and assists. Same thing with Vassell, 8.5. I don't think you need to do it. You can talk yourself into Emmanuel quickly if you need to, but I still think Scotty Barnes is the right play from the Toronto side of things. Trey Jones at 7.5 assists. That's actually higher than I thought it was going to be. That's higher than I thought. We'll double check that when we look at steals here. But Trey Jones, maybe we put him on the list. Now Trey Young sneakily is like one of the top. Let me actually verify this before I say it out loud. But I'm pretty sure Trey Young is up near the top in steals this year, averaging almost 2 a game. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to check that. In his last 5, he's had 2 steals, 1 steal, 1 steal, 2 steals, 1 steal. So Trey Young, I wouldn't have thought to play him. Yeah, he's averaging 1.5 a game. I wouldn't have thought to play Trey Young, but similar to Halliburton, right? Where if he's going to get you double-digit assists, if he's projecting for 10, 11, 12 assists, and he can get you a steal in there, it allows you to play. Like if you roll out Trey Young and Tyrese Halliburton, you can play a more defensive-minded guy who might not be a big assist guy, if you know what I'm saying, right? Because if you're going to get 20 from 2 of your players and you just need to get 15 from the last 3, it puts you in a pretty good shape, right? So let's keep moving around here. Like Caruso, right? Well, Caruso's probably too thin, but good idea. Kobe White, 6.5 assists. Don't hate that. DeJounte Murray, here's another example. Like if you wanted to play DeJounte with Trey, because what's DeJounte's steal situation this year? I know we know him as a defensive guard, even though stepped back a little bit. This season, he's averaging just over a steal a game. So there you go. There's DeJounte could be in play for you as well. We get over to Denver, Milwaukee, 8.5 assists for Jokic. Also, Jokic is somebody that I don't think a lot of people would think to play here. But again, his projection is to be over, the average that we're looking for tonight. And steal, like his last 5 in steals, he's had 3, 0, 2, 1, 3. And on the season, averaging just over 1 a game as well. So I do think Jokic is a little bit of a sneaky play. You can throw him in there. Giannis is fine too. Dame, crazy to see Dame's assist number just be at 6.5. I think I'd avoid that. Jamal Murray's fine at 7.5. You get away with that. Let's keep moving. See if there's anybody else that we're missing. Jalen Brunson, 6.5 steals. Assists. Josh Hart, 4.5 assists. Josh Hart's somebody I think you could think about playing here. Again, if you're playing these high volume guys, and then throw somebody in high volume assist guys, and then throw somebody like Josh Hart in. You can see his last 5 games for steals. He's had 1, 1, 0, 1, 0. Okay, that's it. Then we're just coding. We're just coding here. But he's averaging actually just under a steal. Forget everything I said about Josh Hart. Ends up not being a great play. You got Brandon Ingram here at 6.5 assists. Zion at 4.5. CJ 4. I don't think you need to touch any of that. Yeah, nothing else from this game. The Grizzlies Pels is kind of a tough one to peg down. Now, Luka, so Dallas is playing Washington. Luka's got 10 assists here. Luka's another one of those high volume plays, assuming you haven't used all up of your Luka yet. He's been averaging, let's see his last 5 in steals. 0, 4, 2, 1, 1. And he's averaging just 1.5 steals a game. So Luka, sneaky good play there. The Washington side of things, Tyus Jones, I guess, at 7.5, but I don't know what Tyus Jones' steal game is like lately. But again, steals are super hard to project. There's just a lot of variance with him. But his last 5, he basically averages a steal a game. So you could put Tyus Jones on there. Let's keep moving here. Steph, 5 assists. 5 assists, but Steph Curry's sneaky steal guy, similar to Trae Young as well. Steph usually is up there in the leading in the steal category. In his last 5 games, he's only had 1 in his last 5 games. How many is he averaging? Just under a steal a game. Forget it. Scratch the Steph stuff. Draymond, though, here you go. Draymond is somebody like if you're playing those high volume guys, you need a steal guy. You could throw Draymond in there, who's still supposed to give you 7 assists, which is pretty solid. On the Utah side of thing, Colin Sexton is fine. I don't think you need it. But Chris Dunn, all right, Chris Dunn is somebody that if you were playing 3 of the, like if you have Luka, Trae, and Halliburton, right? Chris Dunn might only get you 5 assists, right? He's not going to play a ton of time, but he's like the best on-ball defender, guard defender in the league, perimeter defender, whatever you want to say. His last 5 games, 3 steals, 4 steals, 0 steals, 1 steal, 0 again. He is averaging just over a steal a game. I think Chris Dunn is someone who could like walk away with 3 steals and get you there. So I don't hate that. And the last game of the night, I'm probably going to stay away from just about everybody unless you want to get to Harden, who's at 8.5 assists. So that's that for the assist thing. Real quick, we're just going to look at steals to see if anybody pops here. Yeah, so you're gonna see, let's see, Miles Turner, Miles Bridges, 1.5 block steals. So yeah, Draymond, right? So 2 blocks and steals, which means he's projecting to get at least a steal, which we like that. Collins, Chris Dunn, 1.5 steals coming in. So not a lot of steal categories are out right now. But I think the way to go about this tonight is to really dig into 2 to 3 high volume guys. Because you're seeing a lot of guys in that like 5 assists to 7 assists range, even 8 assists, right? But if you're able to put out Trae, Halliburton, Luka, all of a sudden, you're probably getting a 35 between those 3, and then you can just hammer steals the best you can. But again, this is a tricky one. This is a high volume one. A hard one to project because of steals. And then look again to remind people. So double is a little bit easier to project, right? Just points and rebounds, 150 points. We know we're just going to get some buckets, and then 25 rebounds, 10 3-pointers made. I think this is going to be the hardest one of the last 4 that we have. So I would, there's no need to save to your superstars anymore, right? Go out there and get it. Again, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't signed up for the VIP, go do that so you can get a shot at seeing some of the better projections, because what we do in the afternoon, we'll go similarly through that, but then we'll look at the projections, kind of the injury news, and then take a look ahead at the upcoming ones to see if it does make sense to save anybody. But yeah, appreciate everybody watching. Hope you guys have a great start to the week. We're out of here.
Well, the top shot streets are